Welcome, it's JBM from Mr. Creepshow 9, and I'm not one to really show off most of my collection. In fact, over the years, this is going on the 5th year of the channel, haven't really showed much, but I thought I'd show off some of the books in my bookshelf. This isn't movies, this is right what I keep in my room so that I could just grab and read entries from. So these are some of the ones I like to go to. And we got Twilight Zone, the movie adaptation. These are all horror on the top shelf, so get ready for that. Amityville, The Nightmare Continues. I love the Amityville novels. I'm about 75% of the way through that, and then I'll review it. The Amityville Horror, the original, Jay Hansen. As you know, it was based on the true story of the Lutz, and they sold the book rights to Jay Hansen, an author. And he wrote that adaptation of it, which is amazing, and I can't believe I've never reviewed it before, but that's really what started my affection for and affinity for horror novels and horror literature. So, R.L. Stine, Superstitious, so I've reviewed this. I really love to go back to this and read different parts of it all the time. This is a book I got for about $6 online. It's Ghosts, Castles, and Victims, Tales of Gothic Horror. This is really old. This is like from the 60s. And I thought it would be an anthology of short stories, but what it is like excerpts from different classics over the years, like Dracula and Frankenstein. Just kind of like teaches you, and like it's kind of like a book on the genre of Gothics and Catholic castles and stuff, you know. This is Night Shift, the classic anthology from Stephen King. This has got Graveyard Shift. This has got Graveyard Shift in it. Children of the Corn. Jerusalem's Lot, which is a prequel to Salem's Lot short story. This is just full of stuff that's been adapted into some of his more classic films over the years. Tales by Moonlight. Stephen King writes an introduction for this. I love this. I went through a phase a few years ago where I just got a bunch of horror anthologies, short stories. I love to read those if I'm doing nothing on a weekend or whatnot, you know. They're just easy to read, an hour long, you know, you can really get into it. Here's another one, Gallery of Horror, 20 Chilling Stories, Stephen King, Eric Van Lustbader. I never read him. Edited by Charles L. Grant. And another one, Predators, Dean Koontz, F. Paul Wilson. This is one of my more favorite ones, Cults of Horror. Look at that cover. Just beautiful. These all have to do with black magic and individual cults. Now this is a rare horror Halloween anthology here. 13 Horrors of Halloween with an introduction by Isaac Asimov. It even has a story with him, which is actually horrible. It's only like 2 pages long. Ray Bradbury. And here's a series of Alfred Hitchcock anthologies. He did a number of them. And I have to get through these. Behind the Death Ball. Rolling Gravestones. Once Upon a Dreadful Time. He edited these too and usually wrote introductions. They're more suspense and mystery as opposed to being horror. Even though they kind of marketed them as horror. Like, look at this corner coffin. Here's another great cover. Witch's Brew. And the last one, 14 Suspense Stories to Play Russian Roulette to. These aren't even all of them. I have a whole other box of them. He did so many of them. Okay, this is Richard Matheson, one of the most revered American authors of the 20th century. He wrote The Omega Man and a few other classics. And this is Shock 3, his own anthology series. He did a number of them. I think he did 4. There's 4 Shocks. Okay, this is another one of my favorite things to collect. Occult short stories, true stories from the 60s and 70s. These are novels They ain't novels, they're freaking books with a bunch of short stories based on true stories, supposedly, you know? So we got True Spirit Stories, The Strange World of the Occult, Out of Body Travel. Oh, I love these. Will scare the shit out of you if you read them. Some of them are like, holy shit. Like one time they found this. I'll tell you one story about them. They found this skeleton with pagan. It was a Roman soldier is what it was, and they put him in a museum, and someone was worshiping Jupiter and would sneak inside there and like hail this skeleton, and it's just a creepy story. Psychic visits to the past, more ghosts in Irish houses, strange but true. The strange and the supernatural. I can't even. Okay, I'm going to do the next shelf. There's 3 levels here, so this is the end of it. Journey Beyond the Grave, Midnight. This is the John Russo, who is friends with George A. Romero. He wrote the novelization to Night of the Living Dead. He's the co-writer with John A. Romero, and they collaborate a lot. Anyway, he wrote this book, Midnight, and he also did a review on it. Did I even I think I reviewed it, but I think I did it on someone else's channel and they deleted it or something. Okay, this is a gothic horror. These are good books too. They usually have like female lead characters who get caught up like in a gothic tone with a castle and a witch and evil shit. To Kill a Witch. And the last one here, this is the Witch's Almanac of 1974-73. And tune in to the next video.